theory, DEI in the Biden administration, especially in our military. Defund it all. I don't know about you, but a government shutdown would be well worth it if it means the end of Biden's border invasion. The good news is Judicial Watch remains powerful because of the rule of law. That's why the left wants to destroy the Supreme Court and hates so much Justice Thomas. I, for one, say loud and clear, God bless Justice Clarence Thomas. FOIA law allows us to investigate everything. The founders would be proud, I'd like to think. John Adams said, "Liberty cannot be preserved without a general knowledge among the people who have a right, an indisputable, unalienable, indefeasible, divine right to that most dreaded and envied kind of knowledge. I mean of the characters and conduct of their rulers." That's why Judicial Watch has filed thousands of FOIAs and hundreds of lawsuits to find out more about the characters and conduct of our rulers. We've sued on everything from Hillary's emails to the FBI spying on the church. Frankly, we can't sue enough. And if you have FOIA ideas or need FOIA help, let us know. You know, the left Borg wants us to think that resistance is futile to their dangerous anti-American agenda. But you know better. Fighting for America is never futile. It is our duty. It is our duty to stand strong for our children and the generations to come. It's the American way. So get up, stand up for freedom, stand up against the extremist left, stand up for our borders and our sovereignty, stand up against corruption, stand up for transparency, stand up for our children, stand up for life, stand up for the rule of law, stand up for free speech and your other God-given rights, stand up for the Constitution and the American Revolution for liberty it represents. We have no choice but to win. You must all be heroes for the Republic. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you. Thank you.
America is under attack. Our families are being crushed under the politics of a radical agenda. But moms have had enough. We are standing up and we are fighting back.
This is our battle. This battle is every bit as important as the Revolutionary War because we fight for the same thing.
Moms for America is a national movement of moms reclaiming our culture for truth, family, freedom, and the Constitution.
I think Moms for America is exactly on track and is doing the right thing for the future of our country and our children.
Like Moms for America is going at the heart of the issue.
But I am honored to join Moms for America today as we speak out against the horrific mandates.
With a national network of over 500,000 mothers, Moms for America is one of the fastest growing movements of women in the country.
The most dangerous place in all of nature is between a mama bear and her baby cub.
We are the change. No matter what, no matter where, and no matter how difficult the obstacles are that are facing us and our families, we will not give up and we will not give in.
So if not now, then when? If not you, then who?
Welcome to the Momland Revolution.
When we return Donald J. Trump to the White House, imagine how strong our movement will have become. Join us next year at CPAC. Head to cpac.org/2025.
As I think it was President Reagan said, we're from the government. We're here to help. I think you all know that I've always felt the 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
We're from the government. We're here to help.
In an era marked by climate change activists, new technologies, and massive geopolitical instability, we see energy policies have profound implications. The last 3 years have seen record-high gas prices and once-in-a-generation inflation. Energy has been at the center of all of it. During President Biden's first month in office, American oil production fell nearly 27% from its previous high. By the summer of 2022, a gallon of gas averaged more than $5 for the first time. All the while, Biden drained our strategic petroleum reserve, looked the other way on Iran's oil sanctions, and begged other nations to produce more oil. Not to mention, threatened to take away your car, your gas stove, and hot water heater. As the election nears, stay tuned for more updates, because in 2024, energy is on the ballot.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Trump, our ace in the hole. Please welcome founder of Key Square Group, Scott Bessent, and former senior advisor to the President of the United States, Kevin Hassett.
It's so great to be back at CPAC. You know, I'm not sure, there are a lot of polls going on here this week, and I want to take one right now. So how many people here think the economy is better now than it was 4 years ago? Okay, how many people think the economy was better 4 years ago than it is now? So I guess it wasn't that much better. Do you want to try that one again? Was it better 4 years ago? Yeah. Okay, well, a lot of folks in the mainstream media, probably back over there, think that you people are morons. They say that the economy is fantastic and that you just don't understand. But I'm going to give you 2 facts, and then I want to introduce to you somebody who you're going to get to know a lot more about in the next year. But here's 2 facts for you. If you look at employment, then the Biden administration right now will brag that 2.6 million people are working today, or there are more people working today than right before the pandemic. But if you look at the numbers, 2.8 million of those are illegal immigrants. And almost 200,000 U.S.-born people, fewer are working today than when President Biden took office or pre-pandemic. And so people who are born in the U.S. are actually seeing the same thing you are. And so when they do these surveys, they say, well, why is the economy doing not so good if the numbers are so good? Is that the numbers are jacked up by illegal immigrants getting your jobs. But the second thing that's happening is that the government is borrowing lots of money. And then here's the scariest thing that I saw last year in the data. That last year, GDP went up by $1.6 trillion. And everybody in the White House and in the media is bragging about how strong the economy is. But the government debt increased by $2 trillion. And so the government debt increased by $400 billion more than GDP last year. And if you wonder, well, is that what Bidenomics is? If you look at the next 10 years, they say that debt is going to grow faster than GDP at every year, sometimes by as much as almost $1 trillion in 1 year. And what it means is this is a real mess. And you might wonder, how are we going to fix this? And I can tell you that the cavalry is coming. And when the cavalry arrives, and it's not that far off, that somebody who's going to be right on one of the first horses is my friend Scott, who's a legendary investor. And, you know, let's just say he's a legendary investor, incredibly successful, a huge amount to lose in this world where they're going after everybody who supports President Trump. They absolutely, you are risking an enormous amount by coming out. But Scott, a metric of how all in he is he's got a piece in Fox News today calling on Nikki Haley to drop out. And 2 nights ago, I think it was 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago, he ran a fundraiser for President Trump in South Carolina, and they raised $7.2 million in one night. And so now I'm handing it to Scott. So Scott, why are you doing this?
Well, Kevin, first to talk about the fundraiser, we raised $7.2 million from Main Street, South Carolina in Greenville. The night before, Nikki Haley raised $270,000. The President Trump's supporters are on Main Street, South Carolina. Nikki Haley's supporters are in Wall Street, Manhattan.
Interesting.
And the purpose of my article today, and I hope all of you will have a look at it, I wanted to be very gracious. I admire anyone who puts themselves out there for public service, but there is a time to step down. And my message was to her backers on Wall Street, there is no path forward.
So one of the ways that Scott has been such a successful investor over the years, and I've known you for a long, long time and watched your success, is that you see big things coming, big changes coming. Sometimes it's a country that's fallen apart and you realize you want to, like, maybe you want to short their debt or whatever. But when you look at the U.S. economy right now, what are you seeing?
Yeah, so Kevin, is, as you said, that the real successes that I've had in my career, and I've been so lucky, I'm just a kid from a small town in South Carolina, and all I knew about Wall Street was something bad happened in 1929. And I'm afraid something bad could happen again in 2025. But I will tell you that my successes have been analyzing where I think the consensus and the crowd is wrong and betting against it. And I will tell you, I believe now the consensus that Donald Trump 2.0 will be chaotic, that it will be bad for the economy and bad for the markets, is wrong. Yeah. I sent a letter out to my investors 3 weeks ago saying that we are in the midst of the Trump stock market rally and that it is being driven by Donald Trump being ahead in the polls and investors anchoring on the market-friendly things that are going to happen on January 20th, 2025, if he wins. I will also say that given everything that has happened to Donald Trump since the day he got to the White House and what is going on now, that if he wins, he will have a mandate from the American people. And that no one in the U.S. should mistake that. But the market is anchoring on the Trump tax cuts being extended. And I want to give a shout out to Kevin here. Donald Trump captained the economy. This guy was running the engine room. That Kevin, it's easy for him to say the cavalry's coming to the rescue. There's a group of us who, America has been great to us. We went to Wall Street. I want to come. I want to step and help now. And there are a group of great Americans, whether it's the Governor Youngkin in Virginia next door, whether it's J.D. Vance, who gave a great talk yesterday, whether it's Representative Byron Donalds, who had a great career as a financial planner. And I think that there is a group of us who see what is happening with the country and are alarmed enough, as Kevin says, to put ourselves at risk. But there is also a group like Kevin who were in there the whole time. And everybody should thank him for his service and hope that he is called on to serve again.
I just want to say that I had this really fun conversation with Neil Cavuto on Fox the other day, where he was sort of saying that he didn't think anyone could work for President Trump because he's so hard on his employees. And I got to just say that I have so many stories about how much fun it was to work with this guy and how generous he was at one point, one of my staffers got cancer, and the president was sending him notes and asking about how the person's doing. And so when people say, well, why would anyone go back in? The reason is just this, that he does say you're fired to people, right? But that's what businessmen do. They hire people, and if they don't do the job well, then they get rid of them and they bring somebody else. And I asked Neil, I said, and I ask you, can you think of one person that President Biden has fired? And so is he paying attention? Or did he just hire the most perfect set of people in the history of the U.S. government? But this is the thing, that by the end, President Trump had a team of loyal people that he had tested and that were willing to stay in even with like all the difficulties and everything, and that I'm sure that they would go back. And I know see like a huge lineup of people like you, Scott, who are stepping in and saying, you know, the future of our country is at stake, and so we got to do something about it.
We do have to do something, and I'll come back to my list on who I think President Biden should fire, or more importantly, the American people should fire on November 5th. But, you know, I will tell you is obviously Bidenomics is a disaster, but I actually think, you know, no one likes that term, and even Biden's trying to run from it. But I don't think it's Bidenomics. Calling it Bidenomics is a compliment that it does not deserve. Bidenomics is a play on Reaganomics, and that was a supply-side solution that changed America in the 1980s. After the Carter malaise, President Reagan came in and unleashed the American economy. Joe Biden is doing the opposite. He is shackling the American economy with debt. I call it, wait for it, Bidenism. It is Bidenism, and I think that it is fortuitous that we have the president of Argentina today speaking. What has ruined Argentina? Peronism. Bidenism is the beginning of Peronism. It is the state taking over the means of production. It is putting on so much debt that it could never be rolled back. We hear from Steve Moore, one of the great supply-siders, Kevin. We can still grow our way. If we get to this problem now, we can still grow our way out of the problem. We can roll back the government and the economy, but I will tell you, 4 more years of Joe Biden, and it's the point of no return. It will mean big tax increases. It will mean government debt so big that we could have a debt crisis.
So you wrote this piece that had all these charts in it, so I really loved it because I love charts. And it showed that the market's been going up in response to the polls. And I wonder if you could go into the details of that for these people, because it's a really striking chart, but we can't put it up right now. But it's very easy to talk about it.
Yes, so since November 2022, every time Donald Trump has been ahead in the polls, if we take the cumulative amount, the market is up 35%. Joe Biden ahead in the polls, the market's up 3%. Wow. Why is that? Again, market is anchoring on Donald Trump's pro-capital policies, extending the Trump tax cuts, which expire in 2025, lighter touch regulation, energy independence. When I was with the president in Greenville the other night, he said he wants $40 oil based on America pumping. So that's what we can expect. On the other side, since 1952, when there's an incumbent running, the market is always up. Why is that? Because the incumbent president's political apparatus is pumping away. Janet Yellen, Jay Powell are putting their thumbs on the scale for Joe Biden. The market likes that. The market sees Donald Trump winning. Secretary Yellen sees the same polls we do and is getting desperate. So you should expect between now and Election Day, there's going to be a lot of financial shenanigans, but I think we're in the nirvana situation right now. President Trump ahead in the polls, and Secretary Yellen panicked.
You know, it reminds me, talking about the president and the stock market. I can remember one day I was on TV out in front of the White House and announced a change in policy that the president had come up with. And that day, the stock market went up 1,000 points, the Dow. And that night, I was like riding home, and I got a call from the president from Air Force One. And he said, "Kevin, we should just put you on every day." But it was him. It was him. And I think that the markets are actually looking ahead and saying, oh, yeah, policy changes are necessary, and they're likely to come. But one of the things that I don't understand, though, is that when I look at the economic policies of these guys, that they constantly seem to not really care about what the data say or what the truth is. And so we heard forever and ever that income inequality was like the most important thing. And then after the tax cuts passed, income inequality dropped sharply 2 years in a row, two of the biggest drops we ever had. And yet all of a sudden, all these people who told us we should only care about income inequality, they were quiet. And so I wrote a piece at National Review recently about this, and I want to actually hear you comment on this. And the thing is that if you go back and read Marx says that it's wrong for the left to focus on income inequality and redistribute income. Because if you do that, then you basically sustain the evil capitalist institutions. That the job of the left is to destroy all of our institutions. And so do you think that that's actually a rational plan that's going on with these people, or do you think they really just don't understand economics?
I think it is a plan, and I think they have a plan for three things. I've developed a phrase, I call it the maximalist point of no return. And I think that they're trying to do it in the 4 years, and if they get 8 years, we really will be beyond the point of no return. And I think it entails three things, Kevin, is one, massive deficits and the government becoming a bigger part of the economy. We are seeing a takeover of the economy, and we're at the point, this will be the first year ever that interest expense is higher than our national defense budget.
Yeah.
Think about that. The Chinese own our debt, and they are getting such high interest rates that we can't afford to update our weaponry. Two, I would say that the other thing that they are taking to the point of no return is this Green New Deal reindustrialization, which my view is it's going to be a bunch of stranded assets that we have spent the trillions on. Make no mistake, this Inflation Reduction Act is a green investment bank. Just yesterday, the CBO came out and said that there is going to be, that it's already $500 billion over budget. $500 billion, and accelerating. So they're trying to take us down this green road. That money should be spent on defense. Mm-hmm. And then finally, I'm going to stay in my economics and finance lane, but I think they're doing it on immigration. Is you open the border, you let in I don't know whether it's 8, 12, president says there are 18 million, the undocumented, illegal people who've come across the border, and I think their strategy is just to say you can't send them home. So, yeah, I think it's all intentional, Kevin.
Well, I have to now talk about something that has been a big topic here at CPAC, and that I know it's something that it's a delicate subject for you. But when Scott came out of small town South Carolina and then started his legendary investment career, at the beginning, and please don't make a negative response to what I'm about to say. At the beginning, he started out working for George Soros. And so nobody understands that part of the world, I think, better than somebody who had been inside. And so what do you think about the efforts to to like undermine the rule of law and so on. What is going on there? What's he all about?
Yeah, look, I can't comment, I can't speak to Mr. Soros's motivations. What I can tell you, he's one of the world's greatest investors. I learned a tremendous amount. He's dedicating his resources in one direction, and I couldn't disagree with what he's doing more. I now want to dedicate my resources in the other direction. And is that I promise all of you, I am not comparing myself to Ronald Reagan. He was the only candidate I have supported as enthusiastically as I'm going to support President Trump. I got to college in 1980 and met him in New Haven, Connecticut. How did I get to meet him? Nobody else on the Yale campus wanted to go see him. So I got 10 minutes with Ronald Reagan. But my point is, Ronald Reagan was president of the Screen Actors Guild. He was president of a union, and he saw the destructive and corrosive effects of that. And then he became the ultimate free marketeer. Having been inside the machine and knowing how they think and what their moves are, I think that I can help our side get ready. Because I will tell you, you could say all the negative things you want to about George Soros. He is smart, he had a plan, and unfortunately, it's worked. And now it's up to us to be smarter, have a better plan, and work harder.
That's very substantive. Very substantive.
And Kevin, just so everyone knows, Mr. Soros and I have not spoken since a month after President Trump was elected in 2016.
Okay.
And that night, I don't know if anyone remembers, the stock market crashed that night. And I thought, back to, if you think something or believe something that's different than everyone else, the stock market went limit down in the middle of the night. As soon as King on CNN almost started crying and said, oh, Hillary Clinton has no path to the presidency, the market crashed, and I thought, this is the greatest opportunity I've seen in years. And I have no personal knowledge. The Wall Street Journal reported that night, George Soros lost $1 billion betting against President Trump. So let's see if we can inflation adjust that number in 24.
So you had talked a little bit about there are going to be a lot of efforts to juice up markets of the economy this year, that people should watch out for them. And then one of the things you mentioned is the Treasury. And I'd like you to walk people through how that works, because the Treasury has a big bank account with hundreds of billions of dollars in it, and it's basically they could start writing checks without the approval of Congress. And you think that they're about to start doing that between now and November, is that right?
I do, Kevin, and I think I have the high ground here with Secretary Yellen, is because 3 years ago in an article in an economics journal, I called Janet Yellen one of our great public servants. One of our great public servants. In the spring of 2022, she was fired, but she refused to leave office. And all of her successors or potential replacements, the Secretary Raimondo, Lael Brainerd, Gary Gensler, they were all in the mainstream media. And so they pulled on Secretary Yellen's choker collar, and she responded. What did she do after that? In 2022, she ran down the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to suppress oil prices. So we are at a 4-decade low in terms of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. And I don't know if anyone here has noticed, but the Middle East seems like it's pretty hot right now, and it doesn't seem like a great time to be at a low. So what Kevin's alluding to, and all of you can monitor this at home, I was on the War Room a couple weeks ago, and I mentioned to that audience, there's something called the TGA. It gets published every day, and it is the Treasury's account at the Federal Reserve. And it's a rainy day fund. just like we all keep a cash cushion in our checking or savings accounts, the Treasury keeps a cash cushion. And to put that in perspective, when Donald Trump left office, that cash cushion was $1.5 trillion. Secretary Mnuchin knew that we were in the middle of the COVID crisis, and it demanded a huge cushion. Right now, that cushion is around $700 billion, and I challenged Secretary Yellen not to run it down between now and November 5th, because that is a rainy day fund. And because the deficits are so high, because the Biden administration, she and the others are spending money, that is only about 1 month of outlays. So, could you imagine the U.S. government's rainy day fund is only 1 month. Now, let's see if she's willing to take that down, because if she does, it's just it's back to my point of no return. The Treasury job and the Federal Reserve job are risk management jobs. Why did we get the great inflation of 2021 and 2022? The Federal Reserve failed the American people on risk management. They failed the American people. There was huge government spending, and the Federal Reserve kept pumping. So everyone, watch that TGA account. Some other numbers that I would leave for everyone to watch is we have this gigantic budget deficit, the 6-7%, with 3.7% unemployment. Why are we running these deficits if the economy is so good? If I had reserve currency status and was running a 7% budget deficit, I could make Zimbabwe great again. I mean, it's what a waste of money. The next thing is that since Joe Biden has come in office, the average American household, their percent of the national debt is $44,000 per household. Does anyone here feel like they've gotten their money's worth?
No, I want to restate that for everybody, that since President Biden's taken office, your debt, your share of the debt, has gone up by $44,000.
Exactly.
So you owe $44,000 more in future taxes because of all these policies that have made the economy what it is.
Yeah, and so when Paul Krugman, one of my least favorite economists, when he writes in the New York Times, one of my least favorite papers, that you Americans don't understand how good Bidenomics, Bidenism is that the economy's great. Why aren't you more grateful? Well, I say he thinks the American people are stupid, and we're not. Is everybody in economics, there's this term called equivalence, and it means that if any of us overspend on our credit card, we know the bill's coming due. Everybody in this room, 330 million Americans, intrinsically know that the government has run up their credit card. They are running up the credit card every day, and we know that there's a storm on the horizon, so we're saving. We are saving for the rainy day. So the more they spend, the more we know we have to save. So that's why nobody's happy with this economy. And then the other thing, too, is, as Kevin said, in terms of income inequality, under President Trump, with Kevin in the engine room, the bottom 50% of Americans had near record wage gains, near record real income gains. Under President Biden, it's negative. And it's negative on the items. It's much more negative on the items we have to buy every day. Much more negative on housing, much more negative on insurance, much more negative on food. So when the PhDs from the New York Times are saying that Americans don't understand, I'd say we do understand.
Yeah, I think they do. And in fact, let's go to the most important topic as we close. So how many people in this audience think that inflation is under control? But you're being told inflation is under control, And the Fed is signaling that it's going to start cutting rates because inflation is under control. So the last question for you, Scott, and then we're going to wrap, is do you think that the Fed has been politicized? Are they going to jack the economy up to try to get President Biden elected?
You know, Kevin, I used to think the Fed had an intrinsic bias, and then Jerome Powell went on 60 Minutes 2 weeks ago, and I thought it was one of the most political interviews I've ever seen. And you know it's a political interview when he says the Fed isn't political.
Yeah.
He goes, we're not political. And Scott Pelley, who was interviewing him, said, well, wasn't there a lot of debt issued? And all he talked about was the, one bipartisan spending bill, none of the Biden debt.
So Scott, there's a much more important person than us about ready to come out now. And so I would like, thank you guys so much for spending some time doing economics with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome CPAC Chairman Matt Schlapp and Mercedes Schlapp.
Hello, everyone.
Who's pumped up? Who's ready? All right. Okay. We've talked about every serious issue. We've gone from immigration to sex trafficking to gender ideology to every single issue. You're smarter, you're ready, you're prepared, right? And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the countdown to the general election to defeat Biden and to make sure that we triumph over our enemies. Who's ready? Who's ready to join the front line? Who's ready to win? Who's ready to fight? Who's ready to save America? We are not going to let the communists, the Marxists, the leftists, the people pushing this propaganda machine, the globalists, take over this country. They are done. So we're waiting for a great man to come and speak, our wonderful president, President Donald J. Trump. Are you all ready? And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of the Schlapp family and close friends, we love you. We appreciate you. We are humbled that you put your trust in us to help fight and lead in this battle. We will not stop. We will keep fighting. We are not going to let them destroy us, destroy this movement, destroy this freedom movement where globalism goes to die.
Hey, I've been reading some stories about all of you. They said you weren't going to show up to the CPAC this year. They said you were looking for an alternative. You didn't like the chaos. And you think tweets can be mean sometimes. I don't think you got that memo. Are you surprised that they're trying to make conservatives and people who love this country feel like we're little, we're a minority, that we're scrawny, that we're a niche? I'd like you to make some noise so that those folks running the World Economic Forum, the EU, and the UN can hear your reaction to, at CPAC 2024, globalism is going to die. A little louder, can't you do a little better?
USA.
That's right. They say that we're racist But we have every continent except some penguins here at CPAC 2024. Different languages, different religions, different cultures, but a love of freedom.
Yes.
They say we don't care about what happens on the globe and that we're isolationists. But the people in this room care about human freedom. They care about the people, they care about the people around the globe. So, I have one final question for you. Do any of you have to go to the bathroom? It's too late, my friends. Enjoy the next couple moments because we're making American history. God bless you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, in anticipation of our next guest, we ask for your assistance. If you are standing in an aisle, along the wall, or in a doorway, even if the doors are closed, you must move. Please find a seat or move to the standing room viewing area located in the rear of the ballroom. If you have not found a seat prior to the start of programming, you will be asked to relocate. Again, standing in any aisle, doorways, or along the walls will not be permitted when programming resumes. We thank you for your assistance.
Newsmax has been terrific.
President Trump is right. Millions are switching to Newsmax. It's the fastest growing streaming service in America. You don't need those woke streaming services anymore. Just get Newsmax Plus. Watch the best shows like Greg Kelly, Rob Schmidt, Greta Van Susteren, and Eric Bolling.
Greg Kelly over at Newsmax. The Newsmax people have been really terrific.
Gain access to exclusive documentaries, series, and special briefings. It's free to start. So go to NewsmaxPlus.com now to sign up and watch Newsmax anytime, anywhere.
On January 7, 2021, they tried to silence our voices forever as 1.2 million Americans were deplatformed, including our great real president, Donald Trump. It's been 3 long years of fighting to save our country and secure our elections, but now our voice is bigger than ever. God has blessed me with FrankSpeech.com and our courageous Lindell TV lineup with Emerald Robinson, Steve Bannon, and the great Lou Dobbs, along with hundreds of other hosts. We want you to be informed and involved as we work to save our country. So watch our epic lineup on Lindell TV at FrankSpeech.com. Thank you and God bless.
What if a country financed terror and undermined American security? Would you support sanctions? Imagine a nation collaborating against U.S. interests with Iran, breaking international laws. Should sanctions follow? Consider a country engaged in espionage, manipulating academic institutes, and violating human rights. Is it time for sanctions? There is one country guilty of all these. Sanctions on Qatar now.
America is under attack. Our families are being crushed under the politics of a radical agenda. But moms have had enough. We are standing up and we are fighting back.
This is our battle. This battle is every bit as important as the Revolutionary War because we fight for the same thing.
Moms for America is a national movement of moms reclaiming our culture for truth, family, freedom, and the Constitution.
I think Moms for America is exactly on track and is doing the right thing for the future of our country and our children.
Like Moms for America is going at the heart of the issue.
But I am honored to join Moms for America today as we speak out against the horrific mandates.
With a national network of over 500,000 mothers, Moms for America is one of the fastest growing movements of women in the country.
The most dangerous place in all of nature is between a mama bear and her baby cub.
We are the change. No matter what, no matter where, and no matter how difficult the obstacles are that are facing us and our families, we will not give up and we will not give in.
So if not now, then when? If not you, then who?
Welcome to the Momland Revolution.
Greetings, everyone. We need your assistance once again. We want all attendees watching at home to be able to see President Trump. Any rally signs or other items are for you to take home. They may not be raised at any time. Do not raise them during the speech. Again, we want everyone at home to be able to enjoy the remarks. Please make sure that you do not raise the signs at any time while in the ballroom. Ladies and gentlemen, a reminder that electioneering is prohibited during all conference events and speeches. Please refrain from holding signs that either endorse or oppose the election of a candidate.
You blaze my sense of smell. Always have a replay. Never tilts at all. That deaf, dumb, and blind kid sure plays mean pinball. He can't beat me now. I've always been the champ. I know every trick. No freak's gonna beat my hand.
Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. Bound by wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. The taste of love is sweet when hearts like ours meet. I fell for you like a child. Oh, but the fire went wild. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire, the ring of fire, the ring of fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, a reminder that electioneering is prohibited during all conference events and speeches. Please refrain from holding signs that either endorse or oppose the election of a candidate. Thank you.
You made me cry when you said goodbye. Ain't that a shame? My tears feel like rain. Ain't that a shame? You're the one to blame. You broke my heart when you said we'll part. Ain't that a shame? My tears feel like rain. Ain't that a shame? You're the one to blame. Oh well, goodbye. Although I'll cry. Ain't that a shame? My tears feel like rain. Ain't that a shame? You're the one to blame. You made me cry when you said goodbye. Ain't that a shame? My tears feel like rain. Ain't that a shame? You're the one to blame. Oh well, goodbye. Although I'll cry. Ain't that a shame? My tears feel like rain. Ain't that a shame? You're the one to blame.
No backward glances. The games we've played till now are at an end. Past all thought of if or when. No use resisting. Abandon thought and let the dream descend. What raging fire shall flood the soul? What rich desire unlocks its door? What sweet seduction lies before us? Past the point of no return, the final threshold. What warm unspoken secrets will we learn beyond the point of no return? Wait. money or we should be too late.
We're caught in a trap. I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. Why can't you see what you're doing to me? When you don't believe a word I say. We can't go on together with suspicious minds, and we can build our dreams on suspicious minds. So if an old friend I know stops by to say hello, would I still see suspicion in your eyes? But here we go again, asking where I've been. You can't see the tears are real, I'm crying. We can't go on together with suspicious minds, and we can build our dreams on suspicious minds. Won't let our love survive or dry the tears from your eyes. Let's don't let a good thing die. When, honey, you know I have never lied to you. Yeah, yeah. We're caught in a trap. I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. Why can't you see what you're doing to me? When you don't believe a word I say. Don't you know I'm caught in a trap? I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. Don't you know I'm caught in a trap? I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. Don't you know I'm caught in a trap? I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. Don't you know I'm caught in a trap? I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. Don't you know I'm caught in a trap? I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. Don't you know I'm caught in a trap? I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby.
Good times for a change. See, the luck I've had can make a good man turn bad. So please, 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 let me let me get what I want this time. Haven't had a dream in a long time. See, the life I've had can make a good man bad. So for once in my life, let me get what I want. Lord knows it would be the first time. Lord knows it would be the first time.
This is a man's world. This is a man's world. But it wouldn't be nothing, nothing, nothing without a woman or a girl. See, man made the car to take us over the road. Man made the train, carry the heavy load. Man made the electric lights to take us out of the dark. And man made the boat for the water. Like my Bible said, Noah made the ark. This is a man's world. Ow! But it wouldn't be nothing, nothing, nothing without a woman or a girl.
L'uomo rincorre il potere, ma lui non sa. E il grande limite ad essere come si parla. Nel palmo stringe un'idea che non vive, che nella sua fantasia folle, se non si accorge che poi non l'ha più senso, se si vive solo per sé.
Man thinks about a little bit of baby girls and a baby boy. Man make them happy because man make them toys. But after man made everything he can, man made lira, pesos, dollars, rubles, to buy from every good woman and every man. Ow! This is a man's world. But He's lost.
Se non si accorge che poi non l'ha più senso fare, si vive solo per sé, solo per sé, solo per sé.
This is a man world.
Now I've heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
La fede mia mi abbandonò, si perse ma si ritrovò, perché smarrito sempre la cercai. Bellezza, incanto e nostalgia ferirono la mente mia, che in lacrime gridava un alleluia, 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 il santo nome tuo dirò, un nome che ormai non ho, paura che risuoni dentro me. Di luce esplode la poesia come una sacra sinfonia che intona per il mondo un alleluia, 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 I did my best, it wasn't much, I couldn't feel, so I tried to touch. I've told the truth, I didn't come to fool you. And even though it all went wrong, I'll stand before the Lord of Song with nothing on my tongue but hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
to turn my face to the dawn. I am waiting for the day.
Now, old Deuteronomy, just before dawn, through a silence you feel you could cut with a knife, announces the cat who can now be reborn and come back to a different jellicle life.
Ladies and gentlemen, the horribly and unfairly treated January 6th hostages.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the next president of the United States, President Donald J. Trump.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
This is a nice crowd. That's a beautiful crowd. Thank you. That's a great honor. They have rooms packed outside of this hall. If anybody would like to give up their space, let other people come in, please let us know. We'll take care of it. It's a tremendous celebration. Thank you very much, and hello to CPAC. We've been coming here a long time, and it's gotten bigger and better and more beautiful, and thank you very much. It's a big election going on today. You probably have read a little bit about it. And I'm supposed to be in a slightly different location, not too far away, but nevertheless, it's different. And I said, no, I'm sorry, I have to be at CPAC today. I have to be there. And I want to thank Matt and Mercedes Schlapp, two great people, along with the entire staff. Thank you very much, Mercedes. Thanks, Matt. The entire staff of the American Conservative Union, that's what it is. It's a conservative union. It's also a union of common sense. I've been saying it more and more. You know, conservative, it's common sense. And I don't know, maybe we'll have to put that, Matt, on the bottom of that. A group of people with common sense to save our country and make America great again. It's pretty simple, isn't it, huh? We have a tremendous group of dignitaries, leaders, world leaders, and local leaders, but we have from all over the world people with us right now at this moment in the room. And I'll just mention a few. President of Argentina, who's gotten a lot of publicity. He's gotten a lot. He's a great gentleman. You know, he's MAGA. He's MAGA. Make Argentina great again. It's true. No, and he said, I am MAGA. And then I realized he's one of the few who can really do it well. Make Argentina great again. Javier Milei. Thank you very much, Javier. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a great honor to have him with us. Senator J.D. Vance. He's doing a fantastic job. Thank you, J.D. Congressman Corey Mills. Thank you. A very powerful competitor of mine. He is a quick one. He's a smart one. Vivek. Where's Vivek? Ramaswamy. Thank you. He endorsed me. When he endorsed me, I said, that's a great endorsement. Thank you, Vivek. Former senator and somebody that's been very nice to me over the years. I don't know why, but he has. Rick Santorum. Thank you, Rick. Where is Rick? Thank you. Thank you, Rick. Former acting attorney general, somebody that's been very loyal to the administration and to his country, Matt Whitaker. Thank you. Matt, thank you very much. The former chair of my Council of Economic Advisors, Kevin Hassett, with a nice smile, always has that beautiful smile. Somebody that very shortly will be a United States Senator, Carrie Lake. Where is Carrie Lake? Where is Carrie Lake? Wow, that's a pretty good hand you just got, Carrie, I'll tell you. Well, she was very close to being governor, but unfortunately a lot of the voting machines just didn't work. They weren't working that particular day. The lines were miles long. They weren't working too well that day, Carrie, but it's one of those things. And then the judges said, well, not our fault. We better straighten out our elections pretty fast because otherwise we're not going to have a country any longer. That's true. Thank you, Carrie, very much. U.S. Senate candidate from Virginia, Hung Cao. Whoa, he's got support. He's got some support. Wow. Wow. A man who is tough and smart and loves our country. He's the head of America First Legal. He's won a lot of cases, I can tell you, and he's a real guy. He's a real patriot. Stephen Miller, my friend. Stephen Miller. He's around here someplace. There's a lot of people in this room. Thank you, Stephen. President of the Vox Party in Spain, Santiago Abascal. Thank you very much. Thank you, Santiago. Great to meet you. They've made a lot of progress, too. He'll be number 2 and number 1 very shortly, it seems like. That's what I'm reading. Let's see if, you know, a lot of it's fake news, so we can't go by everything. But that's what I'm hearing. Federal Deputy from Brazil, Eduardo Bolsonaro. Eduardo, wherever you are. North Carolina GOP chair, and I think he'll be probably going to a national position very shortly, Michael Whatley, fantastic guy. And we all know and love a man who great bravery in the administration, really a brave person. He went through hell and back, and he beat everybody. He just beat them along the way. Rick Grinnell. Thank you, Rick. The president of Moms for America, Kimberly Fletchner. That's a good group. They just gave me their award. Thank you for that wonderful award. How about Moms for America picked Donald Trump as the man of the year? Can you believe this? Have I made progress? Ah, boy. And a man, single greatest advertiser and purchaser of advertising in the history of America, Mike Lindell. The greatest. An incredible lawyer, one of the most respected lawyers in the country, John Cole. John, thank you. Thank you, John. And Stephen Moore, we all know he's got great predictions if Trump wins. If Trump doesn't win, he says it's going to go bad. It's going to go bad fast. Stephen Moore, highly respected economist. Thank you, Stephen. And a man who I've had respect for certainly a long time. I won't tell you how long, too long. But somebody that I've listened to over the years, even when he was on CNN. That's when people used to watch CNN a lot. He always had the #1 show. He's an incredible... They start booing. I agree with you. But he's an incredible guy, an incredible mind, loves our country, and he fights like hell for our country. The great Lou Dobbs. Where's Lou? Thank you, Lou. You look good, Lou. And we have Tom Fitton. We have so many people. Tom Fitton. Where's Tom Fitton? Stand up, Tom Fitton. Stand up, Steve Bannon. Where's Steve Bannon? Where's Steve? Where is Steve? Stand up, Bannon. Where the hell is Bannon? Oh, he still looks good? Tom always looks good. I don't know. I think he does that weightlifting stuff, Tom, right? But Bannon looks good. We love Steve. We love them all. We love them all. We have so many others in the audience, and I want to say hello, but we have to get down to business because I want to win the award as the best, whatever the hell they call it, the best speaker, I think they say. Who made the best speech? And if I keep introducing people, I'm not going to win it this year. I've won it like 9 years in a row, right? I got to get going. So thank you, everybody, for being here. We appreciate it very much. We appreciate it very much. Gorka, did I see the Gorka man? Yes, stand up, Gorka. Quick, get up. How good is he? Sebastian? Seb. They call him Seb. I call him Sebastian. Thank you, Sebastian. I just spotted you. It's lucky you're nice and tall. 4 years ago, I told you that if crooked Joe Biden got to the White House, our borders would be abolished, our middle class would be decimated, and our communities would be plagued by bloodshed, chaos, and violent crime. We were right about everything. So believe me when I offer you another warning, and we've been right about so much, just about everything. If crooked Joe Biden and his thugs win in 2024, the worst is yet to come. Our country will go and sink to levels that were unimaginable. And just think about it. With 4 more years of Biden, the hordes of illegal aliens stampeding across our borders will exceed 40 to 50 million people. Medicare, Social Security, health care, and public education will buckle and collapse. It will collapse as sure as you're sitting or standing there. It will collapse. Our economy will be starved of energy by Crooked Joe's vindictive Green New Scam. It's a Green New Scam. It'll be the destruction of our country. It is indeed a scam, and most of them know it. Some of them, the fools, believe it, but most of them know it. Millions of manufacturing jobs will be choked off into extinction, and you'll have constant blockouts and blackouts and rampant inflation. Ruthless gangs will explode even more into the suburbs, and when they talk about suburban women, they're going to love me so much. They're going to say, oh, I wish we had that guy back. The gangs will be invading your territory, I can tell you that. While weaponized law enforcement hunts for conservatives and people of faith, religious, Hamas and Antifa will terrorize our streets while their brutal ideology, and it is brutal indeed, it is brutal and horrible like nobody's ever seen before, takes over our schools. China will dominate us, not just economically, but militarily, and that's what they want, and that's where they're heading, but they weren't heading there with me. I took over $400 billion out of China, and they weren't too happy about it, and then all of a sudden, we had the China virus. Now, I happen to think it was incompetence, but a lot of people disagree with that. And a declining crooked Joe Biden. He's the crookedest, most incompetent president in the history of our country. Will soon have us losing World War III. We won't even be in World War III. We'll be losing World War III with weapons the likes of which nobody has ever seen before. These are the stakes of this election. Our country is being destroyed, and the only thing standing between you and its obliteration is me. It's true. It's true. Viktor Orban is somebody I respect greatly. A lot of people respect him. Tough guy, smart guy. He made the statement recently. He said, you bring back Trump, it'll all stop. They all listened to Trump. They respected Trump. He actually said it stronger than he said they were afraid of Trump. I don't want people to be afraid of me. But he said China was afraid, Russia was afraid. They were all afraid of Trump. Bring him back, and it'll all go back. And I will tell you, we had things at a level that nobody's ever seen before. We had no wars. We had defeated ISIS. We got rid of the worst terrorists in the world. You know that. And solely defeated, we took 100% of ISIS gone. And then we had no wars for 4 years. We had no wars. First time in 72 years that happened. No wars. Hillary Clinton, during one of our debates, if you remember that, she said, look at him, listen to him. He's going to cause wars. We'll be in wars. No. It turned out that I was able to stop wars from happening and brought our troops back home. We got out of these ridiculous, endless wars, killing people on both sides, costing trillions of dollars. Crooked Joe and his henchmen have you trapped, and it's an express train barreling toward servitude and to ruin. It's moving at a speed that Joe doesn't understand, because Joe actually, I don't think he knows what the hell's going on, to be honest with you, but he's surrounded by some very bad fascists. A vote for Trump is your ticket back to freedom. It's your passport out of tyranny, and it's your only escape from Joe Biden and his gang's fast track to hell. And in many ways, we're living in hell right now. Because the fact is, Joe Biden is a threat to democracy. He really is a threat to democracy. I stand before you today not only as your past and hopefully future president, but as a proud political dissident. I am a dissident. Remember this, I've been indicted more than Alphonse Capone, Mr. President. Do you know who that is? Even the president just said, I do. Scarface, Al Capone. If he had dinner with you, and he didn't like the smile in your face. He thought you were mocking him by smiling. You would be dead before you got home and said hello to your wife. And Alphonse Capone, I got indicted 4 times by this gang of thugs for nothing. Or, as I say respectfully to the people from foreign countries, for bullshit. Thank you very much. Thank you. You know, it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous what's going on. They've weaponized government. They've weaponized the DOJ, the FBI. We've never had anything like this in this country, and it's a phenomenon that's taken place many times, but in third world countries and in banana republics, not in the United States of America. So it's very dangerous, and they are indeed a threat to democracy. And I'm here to unleash this captive nation from Joe Biden and his gang of very bad people, very sick people, smart people, intelligent people, but they're hell-bent on the destruction of American freedom. It's happening in our country, and it's so obvious. I have people come to see me from other lands where this has gone on, especially in South America, Latin America, and they'll say, the same thing happened to my country 20 years ago. It was the same thing. It's all happening. And if we don't stop it, this is it. 2024. If we don't stop it, this is our last train. If we don't stop it, we're going to have a country. It won't even be a country. You want to know the truth? It won't even be a country. It's breaking up. If we can break out of the Biden nightmare, and it is a nightmare, he's the most incompetent person. Can you imagine this man who can't walk off a stage? He can't find the stairs. Where are they? Where are they, he asks. Where? He makes a 2-minute speech because that's about the only, they couldn't get any more fuel than that. Whatever happened to the cocaine they found in the White Houses? Where is it? And by the way, I have to say, because I have such respect for this audience, and CPAC, I would have never spoken, and I never did, about him because of my respect for the office of the president. I have great respect for that office. But once I got indicted the first time, remember that? I got indicted, and I got impeached twice. We won that, and we'll win all of this stuff. But once I got indicted, I said, well, now the gloves have to come off because they did something. Those, you know, the fake news, before these indictments came, the fake news, almost every one of, well, he'll never be indicted. You don't do that. He was a very popular president. You know, I got more votes than any sitting president in history. Got almost 75 million votes. Substantially more than any other president, sitting president has gotten. And they would say, oh, no, he'll never be indicted. These are people that, some of them truly have Trump derangement syndrome. And they were saying, he'll never be indicted. They won't do that. They'll never. He did it. They did it. They actually, and it was all done by him, in order to go after your political opponent so that you can damage him enough that you can maybe win. But it's had the reverse effect because our poll numbers have gone through the roof. Can you believe this? They've gone through the roof. That wasn't supposed to happen, and it's probably never happened before. I've watched over the years as politicians get indicted, and they start by going to a microphone about 2 minutes after it happens. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be resigning from office today, and I will go home with my family and my friends, and I will fight for my name. Well, that's the last you ever hear from that poor guy. And with me, we have a big voice. You can see by this crowd today, look at that, standing room only. They're all over the place. They have 3 rooms like this. And I have a voice that I can explain it all, like the laptop from hell when they impeached me. And it turned out I was right after going through all that. And now they say, you know, we shouldn't have impeached him. He was right because the laptop from hell showed that I was 100% right. All of these things, we were right on all of it. But we're in a very bad path. It's a very, very dangerous path that we are on as a country because the other side, which I find tends to be a much nicer group of people, and maybe foolishly so, but the other side can also get nasty And at some point, they probably will have to do that because we cannot let this weaponization go on against the Republican Party, against religion, against conservatives. We cannot let this continue to happen. So if we can break out of this Biden nightmare, it's a nightmare. Our country is no longer respected. We're laughed at all over the world. We have to break out of the nightmare that we're in. And we have it in the grasp to make America richer and safer and stronger and prouder and more beautiful than ever before. I think we have a final shot at it, but if we don't do well in this next election, or if they cheat enough that they can steal it, which is, I think, the only way they can win, who the hell can win when you have 16 million people pouring into our country from places unknown? We have countries that nobody ever even heard of from all over the world. Yesterday they had many people caught from prisons in, you remember this, right? Prisons in the Congo. Let me tell you, the only good thing is they make our prisoners and our bad gang members look like very nice people by comparison. That's the one good thing. All of a sudden, we're starting to like our prisoners and our horrible, violent criminals because they're nicer than the people that are flowing in. They're coming from Asia. They're coming from the Middle East. They're coming from all over the world, coming from Africa. And we're not going to stand for it anymore. As a country, we're not going to stand for it anymore. They're destroying our country. And we built think of it, we had the safest border. 3 years ago, we had the safest border in the history of our country. Now we have the worst border in the history of the world. There's never been a country ever, third world countries, they've never been like this. They would have fought with sticks and stones. They didn't need rifles. We have the best in the world, but we let everyone, because we're fools. Either they want to destroy our country or they're stupid. And I don't think they're stupid because anybody that can cheat on elections like they do is not stupid. That means they want to destroy our country. But who can win an election when you have that? Who can win an election when you have high interest rates, you can't buy a home, where you have bad education, where everything's woke? We did things that nobody can imagine. So many things. 1,000 elements we did. We have a book, the 1,000 things. We did things that nobody could even imagine. And then all of a sudden, something very bad happened. Israel would have never happened. The attack on Israel would have never happened. Remember, Iran was broke. They were broke. Ukraine would have never happened. I talked to Putin a lot. I got along with him well. Although he did announce the other day that he'd much rather see Biden as president. And I agree with him. I agree. Because, you know, I ended Nord Stream, right? I ended Nord Stream. Nobody ever heard of Nord Stream 2. That's the biggest pipeline in the world. Going into Germany, what's that all about? We defend Germany and Europe, and then they go and pay billions of dollars to the people that we're defending them against. How do you figure that one, right? And I stopped it. It was over. And then Biden comes in, and within 3 days he approves Nord Stream. But he kills Keystone Pipeline, right? He kills Keystone. He approves the Russian pipeline, the biggest in the world. Billions and billions of dollars a month come flowing in. But he ends the Keystone XL pipeline. And then they say, Trump is too nice to Russia. I'm nice. I'm the one that gave him the 100 javelins, the thousands of javelins that knocked out the tanks, but they knocked out 100 tanks in the first 2 days with javelins that I gave. Remember, they said Obama gave pillows and Trump gave javelins. And then they say, oh, Trump was so nice to Russia. No. Putin would say, if you're being nice, I hate like hell to think of what you'd be if you were not nice. But we were tough and we were smart and we were right. We were right just on everything. We were right. And what they've done is unthinkable. What they did with the border, allowing these people to flow in, is unbelievable. But to achieve a great future, we first have to throw off the chains of our out-of-control political class, and that begins with telling crooked Joe Biden, you remember The Apprentice? Crooked Joe Biden, you're fired. Get out of here. Get the hell, you're destroying our country. You're fired, Biden. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here, this guy. He goes after his political opponents. Let's go after them. See if you can indict him so that maybe we can win. A little bit of a backlash when the numbers go up. But anybody that does that and all these other things they've done, they're destroying our country. We're not respected anywhere anymore. We're laughed at. We've become a joke as a country. For years, you've watched as the entire Washington cesspool has been feeding on the wealth and hopes and dreams of hardworking Americans, really hardworking Americans. They've feasted on the profits of job-killing trade deals. They've gorged themselves on the spoils of endless wars. And now what they crave, they want it so badly, is permanent political power and dominance for whatever reason. They're sickos, that's why. In 2016, we gave these corrupt insiders their chance to change, and with Biden, they answered with hoaxes and witch hunts, censorship, lockdowns, and with total repression. 8 years later, the swamp has rejected your righteous pleas to reform, and we have to do this, and we're going to reform, and we're going to have freedom again. We're going to have freedom again. We do not have freedom, and we have the most corrupt press anywhere. These people are corrupt. They are corrupt. Not all of them, about 92%. No, you have some wonderful journalists, you really do, but they're just overwhelmed by the people that know they're doing so wrong. I watch ABC, CBS, NBC. I mean, it's so, I don't even talk about CNN because nobody watches them anymore. MSDNC is horrible, horrible. But fortunately, not a lot of people are watching them anymore. They've tuned out. But the press has to straighten itself out. You know, they're all doing badly, and they're doing badly because they're fake news. That was another one we called, right? Fake news. The only problem with that term, it's not strong enough. I wish it was stronger. At the ballot box this November, it's you and the people you have to be, and we'll deliver a reckoning like they haven't even imagined before. We're going to straighten out our country. We're going to bring our country back. For hardworking Americans, November 5th will be our new Liberation Day, but for the liars and cheaters and fraudsters and censors and imposters who have commandeered our government, it will be their Judgment Day. Their Judgment Day. When we win, the curtain closes on their corrupt reign and the sun rises on a bright new future for America. That's what we have to have. I believe it's our last chance. You know, I used to say how important in 2016 that you got to do it. It's the most important election. I meant it, but that was nothing compared to where we are now. We had a big border problem, and I solved it. So much so that in 2020, I couldn't even mention it. I'd say, let's talk about the border. Sir, you've solved that problem. You don't have a border. I don't care. I want to talk about the border. I talk about the border. Everybody would sit there. They wouldn't even say anything because we had no problem. I solved it. But who would have thought that now we have a border problem that's 20 times worse than what we had in 2016? 20 times. And we'll solve that one too. But it's going to have to be very strong action, and it's going to have to happen fast before our country is just totally overwhelmed. Your victory will be our ultimate vindication. Your liberty will be our ultimate reward, and the unprecedented success of the United States of America will be my ultimate and absolute revenge. That's what I want. Success will be our revenge. I love those young people over there. But have you seen, the closer we get to this magnificent liberation of our country, the more desperate the Biden regime's evil persecution against us has become. They become more and more violent. The Stalinist show trials being carried out at the Joe Biden orders set fire not only to our system of government, but to hundreds of years of Western legal tradition. You see what's happening. They've replaced law, precedent, and due process with a rabid mob of radical left Democrat partisans masquerading as judges and juries and prosecutors and executioners. That's what they are. I've gone through trials. The level of hatred from these judges, there's no way you get fair trials. The level of hatred from prosecutors, when they know you've done nothing wrong, it's sick. These are sick people. The only crime I've ever committed is defending America and those who want to destroy it. I will fight those who want to destroy it. And they're very angry at me because I won an election that wasn't supposed to happen, and they were caught off guard. And they said, we'll never let that happen again. And in 2020, they cheated like dogs, and we all know it. We all know it. For that and that alone, Biden and his deranged prosecutors, attorney generals, local district attorneys are trying to take away my liberty. They're trying to take it away. They're trying to steal my liberty. If there's any shred of justice left, they will fail and we will win. And so far, we're doing very nicely. Thank you. But I would rather lose my freedom than surrender to this group of thugs and tyrants, fascists, scoundrels, and rogues. The more the corrupt establishment tries to stop us, the more you know the day is near at hand when we will break free from their grip. We're going to break free very soon. We're going to break free from their grip very soon. You heard the J6 hostages, didn't you? You heard that. And I will tell you, there's never been in the history of our country a group of people treated the way they've been treated. There's never been anything like it. Carpenters, mechanics, lawyers, firemen, policemen, military people. They went to protest a rigged election, and they've been sentenced to years in prison. When they burn down Portland and they take over a vast section of Seattle and they burn down Minneapolis, and I had to watch television as a CNN reporter is standing saying, this is a peaceful protest. I'd like to say, this is a peaceful protest. And the whole damn city behind him is burning to the ground. Did you remember that? As far as the eye could see, Minneapolis burning to the ground. This is a peaceful protest. And then he got hit on the knee and he went down. It was crazy. No, it's crazy what's going on. And I tell you what, if I didn't bring in the National Guard, because the governor didn't want to do it, they'd never want to do it. If I didn't bring in the National Guard, I wish I didn't wait 6 days, but if I didn't bring in the National Guard, you wouldn't even have a city there. You wouldn't even have, that city was going down. They'll only motivate us more to make America great again. We have to make America great again. That's our mission. People say, what is your mission, sir? I remember when Ted Kennedy, he was actually a friend of mine, slightly different viewpoint on life, but he was a friend. But they asked him a question. It took him down. What plans do you have for America? Why are you running? And somehow, that's a much harder question than you think because, you're answering all the little details. Then they ask, what are your plans for America? It took him down, actually took him down. I just say, my plans are very simple. Make America great again. That's all I say. Make America great again. Very simple. Thank you, Gordon. The first and most urgent action when we win will be the sealing of the border, stopping the invasion, drill, baby, drill, send Joe Biden's illegal aliens back home. We'll do all of those things, and we're going to have to do them fast because no country can sustain what's happening in our country. You look at New York, where I originally came from. I love New York. And you take a look at what's happening. Hundreds of thousands of people. They've taken over the streets, Madison Avenue. They've taken over Queens. They've taken over Brooklyn and the Bronx. They've taken over the whole city. The little leaguers can't play anymore because people are there that can't play. But it took longer than I thought, but I predicted this. It's called the migrant crime, and it's far more deadly than anybody thought. They will actually have fistfights with police in the middle of the street. You saw that the other day, where they attacked police. even our bad criminals, they never had fistfights with a cop. You know, they do things and they talk and they shout. But these guys are actually, and you know the interesting thing? In their country, if they ever did that, they'd be dead within seconds. They'd be dead. I know where they come from. I know the people that run those countries. I know the presidents and the dictators. I know every one of them. Some are dictators, some are prime ministers. But they're tough guys. They're tough guys. And those thugs that gave the middle finger to our police and then started fighting them and actually threw two of them down and started beating the hell out of them, although they fought back bravely, the two. But these are tough people, and they know that in their country they'd be dead within minutes. They would be dead as a doornail within minutes. And so they came over here. So it took a long time, but now it's talking. Now you're seeing it. It's migrant crime. It's a new category of crime. And I wanted to call it Biden migrant crime, but it's too long. So we just call it migrant crime. We have a new category, migrant crime, and it's going to be more severe than violent crime and crime as we knew it, because we have millions and millions of people, and they came from prisons and jails. They came from mental institutions and insane asylums. No, they're not the same thing. An insane asylum is a mental institution on steroids, okay? It's Silence of the Lambs. Okay, you know that. Hannibal Lecter. They're all being deposited into our country, and then you have terrorists, and then you have drugs, and then you have human traffickers, and they're coming over at levels never seen before. We've never seen anything like this. 3 years ago, we had the safest and most secure border in U.S. history. We ended catch and release, except when it was catch and release in Mexico. We had catch and release in our country. We built 571 miles of border wall, far more than I said I was going to build, and I couldn't get the damn thing through Paul Ryan. He stopped at Paul Ryan, a super rhino. He's a super rhino. I couldn't get it through Paul Ryan. Mitch McConnell. They said, sir, if you wait till next year. I said, you sure? They said, don't forget I had never done this stuff before. You know, I'm the president, and these guys are bullshitting me. They said, sir, if you would just sign this budget and wait, next year we'll put it, and then next year came. I said, where's my wall? They said, sir, we're not going to be able to get it. You know, in the meantime, they give trillions of dollars to the Democrats for the Green New Scam. So what I did is I approved the military, and I took it out of the military. That's how I built it. I built the wall through the military. And the military, by the way, the Army Corps of Engineers did a great job. But I built it through 571 miles and 200 miles ready to go. It was laying there ready to be installed. It would have been 3 weeks. The entire thing would have been double what I promised. And then we had the rigged election, and they said, we don't want to build the wall. We don't want to build it. And I said, you know, they really do want open walls. I figured it was maybe just talk. I said, they really want an open border. Nobody could understand it. They really want an open border. And that's when it began, and that's when our country had really, because we can look, we can drill, we have more energy, we have more liquid gold than any other country. We can drill, we can do all of these things. But we have a problem because we have, by the time this guy, trying to be nice, but I don't have to be nice anymore because he indicted me. But I'm trying to be nice anyway. But by the time this guy gets out of office, we'll have 18 million people, in my opinion, in our country that shouldn't be here. And they do come from prisons and mental institutions, and they are terrorists. And we're going to be paying a price, and it'll be the largest deportation in the history of our country. And we have no choice. And it's not a nice thing to say, and I hate to say it. And those clowns in the media will say, oh, he's so mean. He's so, no, they're killing our people. They're killing our country. They're killing our people. We have no choice. You know, when I went to Mexico, I said, Mr. President, you're going to have to give us 28,000 soldiers because the caravans, that was another name I came up with. I come up with good names. Longtime politicians come to see me, sir, could you give a name to my opponent? I said, how long are you a politician? 28 years, sir. You can't come up with your own names, but I do. caravan. But I went to the president of Mexico. I said, they're coming through your country, and thousands of people in these caravans. They have one coming up now, supposedly 25,000 people. They're going to walk right into our country. We have no idea who the hell they are. But it started with Honduras. It started with El Salvador. They just started, but now we're equal opportunity. We have every country. We have countries that, honestly, nobody has ever heard of. We have languages coming into our country. We don't have one instructor in our entire nation that can speak that language. These are languages. It's the craziest thing. They have languages that nobody in this country has ever heard of. It's a very horrible thing. I said to the president of Mexico, you're going to have to give us 28,000 soldiers free of charge. No, Donald, I will not do that. I will not do that. I cannot do that. And I said, no, you will, I promise. Are you going to do it? No, I will not do it. I said, listen, you and I friends, I really like him a lot. So I said, let's not you and I. Just give me a negotiator, because I don't want to do this with you. And he said, I will do that. And he sent me this very handsome guy, so handsome, so beautifully dressed. In fact, I asked him for the name of his tailor. Then when I found out how much he paid for the suit, I said, forget it, keep it. But he was a handsome devil. And I said, listen, you're going to have to do a few things. You're going to have to give me 28,000 soldiers. You know, Tom Homan was up before. He's fantastic. And he does go around saying, I love this guy. He says, Trump was the greatest president in history, and on the border, there has never been in his lifetime any president that was even close. And he's right about that. He's right. I mean, we know the results. But Brandon Judd, you have unbelievable people. All they had to do is leave it alone. But I said, you have to give us 28,000 soldiers. No. Then the new guy comes in, the representative. Yes, sir, what can I do? Now, I asked Tom Homan, Brandon Judd, and a person from the State Department, a wonderful woman. She's been there for over 20 years. She covered Mexico for over 20 years. She knew it, and she was competent. She was good. She wasn't a good negotiator. And I said, what would you like? Give me your I want a top 10 list. Well, sir, we'd like to remain in Mexico, but we've been trying to get that for years. You won't be able to get that, and you won't be able to get a catch and release in Mexico. You know, we have catch and release, and we catch a criminal and we release him in our country. I said, no. Catch and release is fine in Mexico. Title 42, I want. That's with the sick people and with the children. You've got to get the children back to their parents. All of these things. They gave me a list. But they thought they were wasting time. It was a list of 10 things, tough things. Just ask Tijuana if they were tough. Tijuana became one of the largest cities in the world all of a sudden. They said, what the hell is going on? So this guy comes in, and I say, look, number one, I want 28,000 soldiers free of charge. And he goes, we're not going to do that. We're not doing it. He thought I was crazy, by the way. I said, oh, no, you're going to do it, 100%. No, we're not going to do it. I said, you're going to do it. I guarantee you, you're going to do it. He goes, no way. I said, way. And he said, we will not do that, sir. We will not do that. I said, here's what else you're going to do. Remain in Mexico. Nobody comes into our country until they're checked at the border. You're going to do remain in Mexico. You're going to do catch and release into Mexico, not into our country. You're going to do all sorts of things. You know, we had a lot of medical problems. People were coming in deathly sick with a disease, highly contagious disease. I said, I don't want people catching these diseases that we never even heard about. They have diseases nobody's ever even heard about. I'm sorry. I feel badly for the people, but we don't want to have this contagion in our country. I'm sorry. And we did that. So we had a list of these 10 things, one tougher than the next. And he said, we're not even going to think about this. And the person from the State Department, this really good woman, but she said, sir, you're just going to be wasting your time. And I said, all right. I said, I'll make you a little bet. I'll bet you I get all 10 within minutes. And she thought I was crazy, too. So after he said, no way, I said, way. And then I said, here is what's going to happen. If you don't approve this, and if you don't give us those soldiers, and their soldiers are not politically correct. You know, our soldiers, if you say, excuse me, madam, you're not supposed to be entering our country. Ma'am, please don't enter our country. Then they get indicted because they talk to her too rough, you know. We have the greatest soldiers in the world, but they're not allowed to do their job. I proved that with ISIS. Our soldiers knocked the hell out of ISIS once I took over and took it away from our fake television generals. We have great generals, but not the ones like Milley and these guys on television. They're fake. I had generals that were really tough. I had generals that I had to hold back, okay? We have great military, and it's only woke at the top. I don't think it can ever be wokenized at the lower levels, because these are great people, tough people. I really don't believe they could do it. It was only at the top. And remember, when I let them go, 4 weeks. We were told 4 years, and it probably can't be done. I knocked it out in 4 weeks. Our military is great. I said to one of the generals, "What's your name?" "Kane, sir. My name is Kane." He looked better than any movie actor you could get. "My name is Kane, sir." I said, "All right, Kane, what's your first name?" "They call me Raisin." I said, "What?" "Raisin, sir." "Your name is Raisin Kane?" "Yes, sir." "I love you. You're the man I'm looking for. You're the man I'm looking for." And I said, "Why is ISIS so tough?" He said, "They're not tough, sir. They just don't let us do our job." I said, "Why not?" He said, "Because this is after I flew to Iraq. You know, I flew to Iraq in a plane. Some of you know the story. It was all dark after spending 20 years and $1 trillion. We can't turn the lights on in a plane. I sat with the pilots, the most handsome human beings I've ever seen. It's not my thing, but they're handsome. Not my thing. Not even a little bit, but they are handsome. Central casting. Better looking than Tom Cruise and taller. Okay, let's do it. So, I'll deviate on the stories. Now, by the way, when I deviate, they'll say, "Oh, he went from..." No. A really smart person can go through various stories, always come back and conclude everything. Okay. Don't worry, we'll get back to Mexico. But this is almost, right now, this is more exciting. So the plane's off. I say, "Why are you doing that?" "Because, sir, we're flying over an area that's very dangerous, where we spent 20 years eradicating." And so I said, "I want to go sit with the pilots," because I often do that. And I'm sitting with the pilots, and I get up there, I'm feeling my way up. And the plane was absolutely dark, no lights on the outside, no lights on the inside. It was a little spooky. We're up there 40,000 feet getting ready to start going down, and they're telling us we can't have any lights. No lights in your cabin, sir. And then they pull down the shades anyway. So I'm sort of feeling my way. I get up there, and I see this captain with the crew cut, the whole deal he's got. "Yes, sir, it's an honor to be with you, sir." And I say, "Captain, I don't see any lights. You know, we're getting close. Is there a problem out there, Captain?" "No, sir, we'll be landing in less than 30 minutes, sir." I say, "All right," and I'm sitting in a seat that's right in the back between these two handsome human beings. And, you know, they always give the best pilots, Air Force One and Marine One, the helicopters you have, which is good. One thing you know, you got great pilots. These are the best. And so he said, "No problem, sir. We'll be landing in a little while." And then 10 minutes go by, 15 minutes. I haven't seen one light. There's nothing. It's like, and I'm getting a little nervous. You know, do you ever see? I'm trying to act cool as a cucumber. And it's, if you know anything about planes, you have the I call it the computer voice. It's the most beautiful voice. If I had that voice, I would have been president 20 years earlier. But the most beautiful voice, so professional. 1,000. That means you're 1,000 feet over the ground. Now, I haven't seen a light. I haven't seen anything. It's just dead. There's not anything. That means we're like really low. We have this massive plane, and we're just right off the ground. Then it goes 900, 800, 700, 600. Now, we're 600 feet off the ground. We're flying in. The plane is dark with the exception of a tiny little light that they've got on their dashboard underneath everything and totally concealed. There's not a light anywhere. I've never seen anything. It was like dark. 500. I said, "Captain, Are we okay, Captain? Everything fine? Yes, sir. No problem. We'll be on the ground in just a few minutes, sir. I say, what ground? So, 400, 300, 200. Captain, are we okay? Yes, sir. We'll be landing momentarily, sir. 100. Now, usually when you're in these planes, I do it a lot. You have lights bursting, big lights. You got a runway that's lit up like a candle. There's not one light. There's not even a little, what they call a pigeon light. That's a tiny little light. 100. And I want to ask him again, but I want to show some bravery. Because I thought we were going down for the count. And then all of a sudden, and it's genius, there is no light. And then all of a sudden, 100, and then bing, bing, beautiful landing like nothing to it. Sir, it was an honor to be with you today, sir. Thank you, Captain. Does anybody have a towel? I'm saying, does anybody have a towel? I need a towel. So now I'm walking out and getting ready to go down and meet the generals in Iraq to find out why we're not defeating ISIS. And I see my staff, and I say, that was quite an experience I just had. Yes, sir, great landing. They said, yeah, what was it? And I said, let me ask you a question. Is the President of the United States allowed to give himself the Congressional Medal of Honor for bravery? Because I did a very brave thing. I was so brave. Am I allowed to do it? And they said, sir, it would not be a good thing to do. Now, here's the problem with that story. The fake news media will lead tomorrow. Donald Trump wanted to give himself the Congressional Medal of Honor. It's true. It's true. When I imitate Biden, who can't find the stairs ever. You know, you have so many stairs in it. You got one there, you got ramps, you got everything. Here, you only have 2 or 3 stairs. Sometimes you have 6, 7 stairs. The craziest thing, what a waste of money. My father would say, what the hell are they doing? All you need is 1 stair. But for Biden, you need many. But when I imitate him with the stairs, because he never can find his way. If you ever see Secret Service runs up and grabs him and, helps him off the stage. This is what we have negotiating nuclear weapons. So he finishes his speech, and do you ever notice? He finishes it. The speeches last about, would you say, average 2-3 minutes, right? Very quick. They're very quick and not good. Not good. But the press gives him good marks. I remember when he made such a bad State of the Union speech. Everything was stumbling, mumbling. He didn't know what the hell he was doing. And I said, I'm going to watch CNN, MSDNC to find out what they say, because that was one of the worst speeches. They said, not since FDR has there been a speech so magnificently delivered. I'm telling you, I've never, ever forgotten it. Not since FDR. I said, it's impossible. They're fake. They're terrible. But you know what? When he goes, and he always points, he goes like this. Thank you. Where am I? Thank you. And then he goes. And he points. You ever notice? And it's always he ends up going in the opposite direction ultimately. But he goes, and then sometimes he trips over that. And then we don't have it here. But if there's a wall behind him, he ends up walking into the wall. And then one of these incredible guys from Secret Service, all these beautiful guys, they run up stage. Look at these guys, like central casting, right? They'll run up stage, they'll grab them, and they're not meant to smile. You know, they're very hard line. When I tell stories, they're like this. I guess they're trained that way. They never smile. You say, good morning. Well, sure. They actually turn away. It's good. This way you don't have to say good morning all the time, okay? No, they train them this way. But one of these guys will run up and grab him and take him off the stage. This is what we have as our president. But the worst thing is when I do that, the fake news, I call up my wife, our great first lady. She was a great friend. People love her. Yeah, people love her. Oh, look at that. Wow. Mercedes, that's pretty good. Yeah, she's good. And she loves our country, and she loves the people. It's true. When I give these big rallies, we give rallies, they say, we love our First Lady. They have signs, we love her. They always show a high heel, you know. But we love our First Lady. But I call up our First Lady, I say, so baby, how good was that? She goes, you were okay. She's a very tough critic. I'll go into a group, I'll speak in front of 55, 56, 68,000 people sometimes. I'll call her up, I'll say, how good was I tonight? Was that unbelievable? She goes, well, your hair didn't look good. Oh, that's not good. But it's very hard to get like, you know, once in a while she goes, you were really good tonight, but that's like a major. But I said, in this case, I said, how good was that tonight? She said, you were really good tonight, but what happened? You couldn't find your way off the stage. Because the fake news said Donald Trump couldn't find his way off the stage. I said, wow. Or when I interject a name, like I go, our president, Barack Hussein Obama. Rush Limbaugh, remember? He would always, right, Seb? Rush would go, Barack Hussein. You couldn't hear Barack or Obama, but the name Hussein, he'd be screaming. I don't know exactly what he meant by that. I think I do. But he'd go, Barack Hussein. So I'd go, Barack Hussein Obama, our president, has done this. Now, I meant that because there are those people that say he's running our country because Joe is not strong on aptitude. So there are those. We don't know that that's true. But they go out and they say, Donald Trump, headline. Donald Trump doesn't know who the president of our country. He thinks Obama's the president, Lou. Look at the great Lou Dobbs. He thinks Obama is the president. So when I'm sarcastic, because I'm sort of a sarcastic guy, I find humor in sarcasm, but it's very dangerous to do because they take it very seriously. But it's a very serious subject because of what happened. To finish the first story, what happened? Hey, by the way, isn't this better than reading off a frickin' teleprompter? Right? Right? Anybody can do that except for Biden. Anybody can read off a teleprompter except for Biden. He can't do that either. He can't do that either. He asks questions. News conference. Hey, when I'm in a news conference, people with these maniacs, these lunatics are screaming at me. They're just screaming like crazy. And, you know, you take them, and I love it. You know, it's like a mental challenge. It's horrible people. But they're screaming, and you're answering, and you're getting them. And then sometimes they get in trouble because they said you were too tough, or you were too nasty, too this. The people don't like that. I understand that, too. But he asks, like, a question, and it's, Bob from NBC. Okay. Mr. President, sir, we just wanted to know, are you feeling well, and was everything good? And did you have ice cream today? Then he picks up the paper, and he reads the answer. Yes, it was vanilla. No, but think, they ask him questions and they give him an answer. That never happened to me, right? I walk out there and it's like a free-for-all. But it's a sad thing. Okay, so now I go off and watch. You know this is all genius, okay? You do know. I hope you know. I always say my uncle was the longest-serving professor in the history of MIT, Dr. John Trump. We have a lot of great aptitude. They'll say, he rambled. Nobody can ramble like this. Nobody. If they did, they wouldn't even try. You know what? They go step by step, and they would never get off that sucker. They go step by step. But what happens, and it's very interesting, we get on the plane, we get off. Now I've just learned that I should not give myself the Congressional Medal of Honor. My people are saying, can you believe he asked that question? But we get off the plane, and I'm walking down. I'm going down this big ramp. I took the high stair, you know. I don't like the children. We call it the children's. I never had a problem with it, but I'm walking down, and I'm looking down, and I see these central casting people. A general, another general, a colonel, a staff sergeant could be in any movie. These guys, it's like perfect. They're like perfect individuals. If I were casting a movie on the military, I would pick these guys. There's nobody you could hire in Hollywood that looks like this. So I walked down, and this is where I met General Raisin Kane. And what's your name? General, what's your name? And he gave me his name. What's your name, Sergeant? Yes, sir, and I love you, sir. I think you're great, sir. I'll kill for you, sir. Then he puts on a Make America Great Again hat. You're not allowed to do that, but they did it. I remember I went into the hangar, and there were hundreds of troops. And they're not supposed to do this, but they all put on the Make America Great Again hat. Right? Not supposed to do it. I said, you're not supposed to do that. You know that. They said, it's okay, sir. We don't care. We don't care. And I met these people, and I said, so what do you think, General, sir? Would you like to rest up? See, this is before Biden. See, if I had Biden, I'd say, I'm not Biden. But we didn't know how bad he would be because we hadn't been tested yet. Sir, I said, he said, would you like to rest up for a little while? Then we'll have a meeting. We're all set. And this place is like all bunkers. No windows, no nothing. It's all bunkers, real stark, but beautiful in a certain way. Billions and billions of dollars it cost many years ago. And I said, no, I'm okay, General. Let's get the business. He was probably surprised. So we started. I say, so General Mattis and all these guys that tell me back in Washington that it'll take 4 or 5 years to defeat ISIS. Why? Sir, it's not true, sir. It's not true. I said, what's not true? We can do it very quickly. How quickly? 4 weeks, sir. Wait a minute. I was told 4 years, and you might not be able to. Sir, we can have it done in 4 weeks. Why? How? What were they doing? Sir, it's our job as a soldier. When they come in from Washington, they're a higher rank. We respect them. We have to respect them. That's our job. I understood exactly what he was saying. He said, sir, when they come in, they tell us what to do, and we do it. I say, don't you question what this? No, sir, we don't question. They came in, they had a plan, and we said we'd do that plan. What was wrong with the plan? We attacked from way far away, sir, and only one place. It happened to be here. We're hundreds of miles away. By the time the planes got there, they practically had to go back and refuel. I said, what would you do, General? You don't mind if I tell you, sir, do you? He said, I don't mind. I'm waiting to hear. He said, sir, we have auxiliary ports, and we have runways all over the place. They're portables. We call them portables. We put them up faster. We take them down even faster. And they're damn good, sir. What I'd do is I'd hit him from 9 different locations. I'd hit him from the left. Now he's getting excited. I'd hit him from the right. I'd hit him from up top. I'd go right the hell under the damn ground. I almost used the bad. I would have been in trouble with the religious right, but they love me, so I don't care. I would have been a bitch. Please don't do that, sir. I would have been just so proud of myself I was able to stop. But I'd hit him from the left, I'd hit him from the right, I'd hit him from east and west and north and south, sir. They would be over very quickly. I said, well, why didn't they do it before? Because, sir, some of the ports and some of these runways are located in countries where they didn't want to be politically incorrect and use a runway and attack the enemy. And they're savages, sir. Attack them from certain points. I said, so you'd attack them and you'd hit them hard, right? Yes, sir, I'd hit them so hard. And I said, and it would take you 4 weeks, maybe more, maybe less, sir. So I said, you gotta be kidding. I said, I'm gonna go back to Washington and I'm gonna think about this because nobody ever told me about this. He says, sir, we'll have time left over. So I go back to Washington and I call and just spoke once more. You sure you can do this, sir? We can do it, sir. I'm telling you this, sir, because we have the greatest military in the world. You know, you see these clowns, these stupid people with Afghanistan. You see these stupid people, Matt, from Afghanistan, the withdrawal, the worst, most embarrassing moment in our lives. They take the military out first. I knew Abdul. I said, Abdul, you'll get hit so hard. 18 months, we didn't have one soldier killed in Afghanistan. I was the one that had it ready. It was enough. 21 years, that was enough. It was ridiculous, but I would have never let Bagram go because Bagram is 1 hour away from where China makes their nuclear weapons. And they let it go. They left at the dark of night. They left the dogs behind, and they left the lights on. And you know who occupies it now? China. So I said, so Raisin, how's it going? He said, sir, just about over, sir. We're going to save a little time, sir. I said, all right, good, call me. So he does his thing. I get a call that ISIS is on the run. The next day I get a call that ISIS is really in bad shape. Next day I get a call that they're surrounded. Next day I speak to somebody and I say, is it really going that well? Sir, it's a miracle. It's not a miracle. It's our military. It's our great military with people that know what the hell they're doing. And they say, sir, we have them now totally surrounded. Most of them are gone, but there's a large group. Just give us the word. Give us the word for what? Don't forget, I had never done this stuff before, you know. I grew up in New York doing real estate deals, really good ones, as you found out. You know, you find out. Even though they want to take as much money as they can away from me. I think we're going to fine him $450 million. Let's give him a fine. You know, you usually get a $500 fine. I get a $500 million fine. These people are sick. It's all part of weaponization, and it can't be allowed to happen. But I said, what are you talking about? We have, sir, a large group, and we're ready to extinguish them. We're ready to send them to hell. I said, we're talking about human beings, you know, naively. She's laughing. We're talking about human beings. No, they're not human. Sir, these are animals. These aren't human beings. These are animals. I said, well, maybe if you fly over them with those incredible, thunderous planes, the greatest planes in the world, maybe you'll shake them up a little bit and they'll surrender, sir. They don't know what a white flag is. I remember that statement. They don't know about surrendering, sir. They're horrible, horrible people, but they are brave. They're not going to be surrendering. Well, let's try it. 2 days. Fly over them back and forth, low as hell. Well, we got a couple of bullet holes in our planes, but we'll do it if you want. Just give it a shot. Get a call back 2 days later. Sir, they're not going to surrender. We've been doing it now for 2 days, back and forth, back. Just give me the order, sir. I said, you got the order. Thank you, sir. A day later, I get a call. We have defeated 100% of ISIS. Isn't that a great story? Isn't that a great story? Right, Mike? 100% of ISIS. %100 of ISIS is gone. So, you know, doing stories like that, probably, Matt, probably I won't get the best speaker this year because I went off this stupid teleprompter, but maybe we will. So it was an amazing thing, and I learned so much. I tell that story sometimes rarely because it's, you know, it's a rough story. But I tell it because you have to know what a great military we have if you let them do their jobs. And I equate it with our police and law enforcement people. We have the greatest law enforcement people in the world, but they're not allowed to do their job. It's the same exact thing. Chicago could be solved in 1 day. New York could be solved in a half a day. The New York police, I grew up with them. They're the greatest people. Now, a lot of them have left, and they've gone down to other states, and they've retired. But you have great people. And they can do their job if they're allowed to do their job, but they don't want to lose their pension. They don't want to lose everything. When you see these department stores where 300, 400, usually kids walk in there with the masks on and rob the store, destroy the store, millions of dollars. Then the store closes. The whole thing starts to collapse, the city. I could solve that problem in 1 day, in 1 hour, in 1 minute. When the word got out that we took a very tough action, when kids walk out with television sets, like brand new, beautiful $2,000 television sets, and they're walking out, and the police are told, stand down, don't do anything. If the police would be allowed to do their job, and they would do it really strongly, it would end. That whole phenomena would end immediately. It would never happen again. You don't even have to do it in every city. All you have to do is do it in one. That's why I'm giving immunity to police, so that they stop crime, because they don't want to get sued. They don't want to lose their wife, their family, their pension, their house. It would stop immediately. So when I equate the military story and I talk about what they did and how we defeated ISIS, it's the same exact thing for the police. We have the greatest police. They could stop it in Los Angeles. They could stop it in New York. They could stop it in Chicago. They could stop it everywhere. But they're not allowed to do their job. And if they do their job, they lose everything. They lose their pensions, their house. They lose their family. And we're not going to let that happen anymore, because our city's all run by Democrats, radical left Democrats for the most part, but Democrats. It's a cesspool. It's a cesspool. Okay, now we go back to one little final story that I have to finish. So as you remember, the president of Mexico sent a representative. Lou. See, they'll say he rambled. He's cognitively impaired. No, it's really the opposite. It's total genius. You know that. It is. It's total genius. These fakers up there, he rambled on endlessly, telling these horrible and very boring stories. No, they're very informative stories. They're very important stories, actually. But no, there's no cognitive problem. If there was, I'd know about it. In fact, if there was, you'll be the first to know, because I will tell you. I will tell you. But so what happens is I'm talking to the gentleman, and he's very confident. And I said, no, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. And he thought this was a weird conversation, because he kept saying no. I said, no, you're going to do it. 100%. Don't even think about it. No, I said no. But, sir, I said no. How many times do I have to say no? I said, say yes. And he said, I can't do that. I said, here's what I'm doing. It's Friday evening, starting Monday morning at 7 o'clock. Mexico is going to pay a tariff of 25% on all of the cars that you stole from our country, by the way. You know, they stole 32% of our manufacturing cars. The United Auto Workers are going to vote for me, all those people, because that deal they made with China, all electric cars, the all-electric mandate. Everybody has to have an electric car, which doesn't go far. Got a couple of problems. Doesn't go far. Doesn't work in cold weather. Remember, 4 weeks ago, I won in the largest margin ×2 history in Iowa. And it was 40 degrees below zero on election night. 40 degrees. This was serious cold. If I walked from here to here, let's say that's 5 yards, I was freezing my ass off by the time I got there. This was so cold. You never saw so many electric cars pulled over to the side of the road. You could have had any one of them. I don't know what the hell the people did. I guess they saved them in some way. But no, they don't go far. And these are the people we have making decisions. No, you want to have everything. We want to have choice. Like in school, we want to have choice. And with cars, we want to have choice, right? You know? We want hybrid. So I said, I'm going to sign this document. And at 7 o'clock on Monday morning, everything, including cars. And by the way, Mexico is our #1 trading partner. Who the hell knew that? Can you imagine? Mexico is our biggest trading partner. And you know why? Because I put so many tariffs on China that they really had to pull back. And we saved a lot of businesses. We saved the steel industry because of it. But Mexico is our biggest trading partner. I said, you're going to pay 25% tax or tariff, call it whatever you want. It's similar, but not actually. And you're going to pay it on every single thing that comes in from Mexico into the United States. And like every other country, they rip us off big, big. We don't have any good deals. I changed the South Korea deal. I changed the Japan deal. I could sit down and do nothing but change deals. I said, who the hell negotiated for the United States? And then you wonder why we have a $2 trillion deficit. Now, if you look at it now, it's gotten to a level that nobody can even believe. It's so bad under Biden. But I said, that's what's going to happen. And that's going to be a hell of a lot more than 28,000 soldiers, and I'm okay with it. But I'm ready to sign it. You just tell me when to sign it. Sir, may I... Now he's doing this. He was a very confident man just moments before. Now he's grabbing his collar. He's pulling. He can't breathe. Sir, may I call our president, please? Absolutely. Please give him my warmest regards. And I said, will you make it quick? I'm late. I got the Russia hoax to take care of. I got to take care of that hoax, Mike. So make it quick on how much time. Think of what I could have done if I didn't have to go through all that bullshit, right? Think of how good I would have been. So he comes back in 5 minutes and he said, sir, I'm pleased to tell you that it would be our great honor to supply you with 28,000 soldiers free of charge. It would be our great honor to adhere to your request for remain in Mexico. Millions of people can stay in our country. Here's a guy. You ever see what happened to Tijuana? It was like people. They had no earth left. It was, you looked at it as, became, I think it was the fastest growing city in history. Tijuana, nice place. But we have, they said, what about catch and release in Mexico? Yes, sir, we'd love to have you release people that you catch, prisoners and murderers. We think it would be a wonderful thing for our country, sir. We would love it. Sir, you can do whatever the hell you want. And we got everything. And then this fool, this stupid fool, released Mexico of all of these obligations. And then last week, for the first time, I can't even believe it, I heard Mexico saying we're not going to negotiate with the United States unless they give us $10 billion. These are stupid people. How about the hostages? The hostages with Iran, Iraq, but the hostages, we gave Iran $6 billion for 5 people. $6 billion for 5 people. A hiker. You know, a hiker goes over and says, oh, look, there's Iran. Let's go hiking. We give them $1 billion to get the hiker out. We gave them $6 billion, and then we gave $10 billion because they supplied some electricity to Iraq. What the hell do we care if they supply it to Iraq? Iraq should have never. Remember, I used to say a long time ago, don't go into Iraq. Don't do it. But I was only a civilian, so I didn't get that much press. I said, don't go into Iraq, but if you're going to do it, keep the oil. Do you remember I used to say that all the time? Keep the oil, but don't do it, but keep the oil. Iraq now has $300 billion. Iran has $224 billion. And Iran controls 100% Iraq. So for years, they'd fight each other, and they were the same. For years and years, under different names. But religious thing. But they would fight each other for years, and they were the two powers. And they were checkmating each other. So they'd fight and fight and fight 4 or 5 years. They'd throw a little gas. They'd throw another one, and then all of a sudden they'd say, and they'd go back, and the border basically remained unchanged. This has been going on for centuries. And then we come along and we blow up one of the sides. We blow up Iraq. And now Iran is taking over Iraq. So Iran, they might as well change the name. So Iran has their $200 and some odd billion that they all made in 2.5 years. 2.5 years. I told China, and I told all of the countries, France, everybody. I said, listen, if you buy 1 barrel of oil from Iran, we're not going to do any business. We're going cold turkey, which wouldn't have been a bad thing anyway. We're going cold turkey. You're not going to do it. And we're going to put a 100% tariff on anything that gets through. And President Xi, I told him this. He said, all right, well, we won't do it. We won't do it. They didn't buy. By the way, they're buying billions and billions of dollars worth of oil right now. But China didn't buy. Nobody bought. Iran was broke. And they had no money for Hamas. And they had no money for Hezbollah. They had no money for anything. They were down to almost nothing. And there were a lot of stories that Iran had was unable, and all these terror groups were angry at Iran because they weren't paying them. And the terror groups were all breaking up. If I were president, Israel would have never been attacked. Would have never been attacked. As soon as I was forced out with a rigged election, we can never let that happen again. Don't let it happen again. Don't let it happen again. As soon as I was forced out with this rigged election, Biden took the sanctions off. Iran went back to levels that they've never seen before, more than they've ever done. And now they're rich as hell. They're selling oil to everybody. They're making so much money they don't know what to do. They're a very rich nation. With me, they were broke. They were broke. I remember a Democrat congressman on Deface the Nation a couple of weeks. I think it was Deface the Nation. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Donald Trump on Deface the Nation. It is Deface the Nation because their news is so fake. But he was saying that, well, whether you like Trump or not, he did break Iran. They were broke. They had no money. I said, that's nice of him. He probably, lost his chairmanship or whatever he was. But we did a great job. We did a great job. So what happened is Mexico agreed to all of these things. We took the money out of the military. We built the wall. We had the safest border in the history of our country. The history of our country. And it was very interesting because we built the wall, but a lot of people were coming up at the beginning. Once they saw that I meant business, once they heard some of these stories that I'm telling you right now, they didn't come. They weren't coming. The caravans were much smaller. The people trying to get in was a much easier situation to handle. When you have an idiot like Gavin Newsom saying, if you come up, we're going to give you pension funds, you're going to have pensions, we'll give you a mansion. Do you ever see the things that he's promising? Free health care, free education. Who the hell wouldn't? I may move there myself, actually. No, but people all over the world are hearing this, that California, look, a lot of people think Gavin Newsom is going to run. In a certain way, I hope so. I hope so. Because he's destroyed California. He's destroyed it. But he's got a hell of a line of crap. I watched him on Sean Hannity, who's a good man, Sean. Sean, we love you very much, Sean, if you happen to be watching, which you will. But he was on Sean Hannity, and he was saying, no, California's never done better, we got to do this, we're doing that. I'm saying, wait a minute, the place is failing. They don't have water. They notified people in Beverly Hills you can only use 40 gallons of water. They don't have water. By the way, they could have so much water. I had it all set. All of the federal government approvals were done. All he had to do is sign a little piece of paper. And I won't let him get away with that again because he had to sign one piece of paper and water would be pouring down from up north, pouring down from Canada. And it comes down the artificial veins and the natural veins where the water poured down. They take this water and they send it out to the Pacific, way above California. They send the water out to the Pacific to protect a little tiny fish that's not doing too well anyway. And people don't have water, and the farmland is barren. You go down, it's best land there is in the whole country. They can't farm it because they have no water. And it's true. In Beverly Hills, you pay a fortune in taxes. They say you can only brush your teeth once a day. Who the hell wants to mean you can't use too much water on your hair? That would put me out. I would not want to be. They put restrictors on showers. They put restrictors on faucets. You buy brand new faucets. Aren't they beautiful, darling? Oh, yes, look at them beautiful brass faucets. They're so beautiful. Let's try them. Oh, shit, no water's coming out. Drop. It drops out. You turn on the shower. I'm going to take a shower tonight. My hair's going to look better than it ever looked. I get that whole deal ready. I'm all set to go. Turn on the shower. Ding. Ding. No. And they have so much water. I said to some of our great congressmen that asked me to help them with the problem up in that area, up north in California, I said, I see you have a drought. They said, no, we don't have a drought. We have so much water you don't know what to do. But they send it out to the Pacific. We're not going to let them get away with that any longer. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And frankly, I believe, I gave a I gave a speech up there. We had like 100,000 people show up. I said, what the hell is going on over here? I always hear Republicans can't win. California, you can't win. I will tell you, if God came down and God was the vote checker, I believe we would win California. I think it's so crazy. They send out 36 million ballots, get sent out to people unknown. They're sent out all over the place. How many people from California know people that got 6, 7, 8 ballots, okay? Our elections are so corrupt. I think we'd do very well. I think I would do very well in California, actually. And I think I would do well in a lot of places because it's common sense. Remember, not conservative, it's common sense. I'm conservative, but the words are common sense. Our country is run by people that are destroying it. We're not going to let it happen again. We're going to have a great military. We're going to have a great, everything in our country is going to function properly again. It's going to function well. We're going to be respected all over the world. We're going to be respected like we've never been respected before. And it won't take long. It's like Orban said from Hungary, put Trump back in and the whole world is going to be fixed. He said that very strongly, put Trump back in. What do you do? They said, what do you do, sir? What do you do? The world is blowing up. He said, it's a very simple solution. Put President Trump back in office. It will all be healed very, very quickly. So I want to apologize for literally not repeating this beautiful speech. But I thought some of these stories are instructive because they tell you our military is great. They tell you our law enforcement is great. They tell you our president is incompetent. They tell you a lot of things, some of which you knew and some of which you didn't know. So now I'm going to the place I'm supposed to be. I'm going to South Carolina. I'm supposed to be there. And if I do poorly, I'm going to blame Mercedes. Forget about that. I'm going to blame Mercedes. Because I am supposed to be there, and I'm not there. And if I do poorly, I'm blaming everybody in this audience. But I think we're going to do okay. And I just want to thank everybody. And ladies and gentlemen, for those of you from a beautiful place called South Carolina, go out and vote right now, please. Get in those cars and drive fast. I'm going to leave you with this one final message. We're going to win the election. We're going to win it big. We're going to win it bigger than ever before. We're going to do things that nobody believed. It's going to be more important even than 2016. We are going to make America great again. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.
in your shoes. I said I was down and out with the blues. I felt no man cared if I were alive. I felt the whole world was so tired. That's when someone came up to me and said, young man, take a walk up the street. It's a place there called the YMCA. They can start you back on your way. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. They have everything for your mental joy. You can hang out with all the boys. YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Young man, there's no need to feel down. Young man, pick yourself off the ground. YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Young man, are you listening to me? Young man, what do you wanna be? YMCA. You'll find it at the YMCA. No man, does it all by himself. Young man, put your pride on the shelf. YMCA. And just go to the YMCA. Young man, I was once
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome member of the Brazilian Chamber of Deputies, Eduardo Bolsonaro.
Que isso, ó? E aí? Mike Lindell! It's an honor to be here right after the next president of the United States. And right before the great Argentinian president, Javier Milei. Today, I'll tell you how a country loses its freedom. I look around and see these ordinary men and women who dreamed of a better country, left into a dirty prison as if they were worthless than an animal. And for those who think I'm exaggerating, I will mention a few simple examples. You can take a look at the image. Felipe Martins, the President Bolsonaro's international advisor, like Jared Kushner, a brilliant young man in his studies with a promising future, imprisoned by a court of exception, accused of a coup d'etat never attempted or planned, and without hope of minimally fair treatment, as due process and broad defense no longer exist in Brazil. Silvinei Vasquez, former chief of police during my father's administration, the chief who most seized the drugs in Brazil. Eduardo Naime, chief of police, who was injured during the protests on January 8th while working during his holidays. And also lawyers, veterinarians, journalists, comedians, pastors, a sign language interpreter, a gospel singer, a homeless, an individual diagnosed with a high degree of autism, all of them imprisoned and accused of coup. These people are now receiving sentences of 17 years in jail. And Clezão, salesman, died inside prison as waiting trial for almost 1 year. And just like them, almost 2,000 people were arrested in a single day in Brazil. Elderly, pregnant women, and even children accused of being terrorists, of having attempted an armed coup, even though not a single weapon was seized. The totalitarian judicial system created the narrative with the help of the legacy media that these ordinary people were a threat to Brazilian state. And this climate of persecution expanded censoring and hunting critics of the current government. And under the excuse of preserving democracy that does not exist anymore, these selfless tyrants crush political opposition in the country. Today, even journalists are exiled in the United States, like Alan dos Santos, Rodrigo Constantino, and Paulo Figueiredo, who is here at CPAC and had a viewership similar to Tucker Carlson's when the regime forced them out. Their social media were taken down by orders of the court, their bank accounts frozen, and even their Brazilian passports have been canceled by those same people they criticized. The only judge who dared to differ from the regime was fired. Ludmila Lins Grillo, who is also present here in the audience, had a similar fate. All of this is just a step towards the ultimate goal, to imprison my father, the former president, who dared to put the interest of Brazilian people first. My father is now prosecuted and slandered in the most varied ways, as in every tyranny, the limit of the ridiculous no longer exists, and he even faces the accusation of having committed the terrible crime of disturbing a whale. Yes, this is not a joke. My father is criminally charged for passing by a whale on a jet ski through a complaint made by Lula da Silva's environmental minister. My friends, I conclude by making an appeal. Report what is happening in Brazil. Tomorrow, we will have 1 million people on the streets of São Paulo in support of President Bolsonaro. Make these images go all around the world. American congressmen, we ask for a hearing in your Congress. You are the leaders of the free world. Help us to expose this tyranny. It's as my father often quotes in John 8:32. And you know the truth, and the truth will set you free. But there is still hope for Brazil. I'm looking forward here now to listen the great president of our brother country, Argentina, Javier Milei. God bless you. God bless the free world. Thank you, CPAC. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President of Argentina, Javier Milei.
Hola a todos.
Hello, everyone.
Yo soy el león.
I'm the lion.
Lindo día para hacer temblar a la izquierda.
Day to make the left wing shake.
Yo también los amo.
I love you too.
¡Viva la libertad, carajo!
Long live freedom, damn it.
Parece que lo que decían como fenómeno barrial se agrandó un poco el barrio.
What seemed just like a local phenomenon has grown. It's quite a large neighborhood now.
Bueno, en primer lugar, muchísimas gracias por esta invitación.
Thank you very much for this invitation.
Y en cuanto a la conferencia del día de hoy,
and as for today's talk,
dado el impacto de la conferencia en Davos,
in view of the impact of my speech in Davos,
en la en la que señalé que Occidente está en peligro,
where I stated that the West was in danger,
dado el avance de las ideas estatistas socialistas,
due to the advance of statist and socialist ideas,
hoy haré foco en los fundamentos técnicos que sostenían dichas apreciaciones políticas en aquella conferencia.
today I will focus on the technical underpinnings of those political views.
En este sentido, haré foco sobre cómo la economía neoclásica y su visión de los fallos de mercados son funcionales al avance del socialismo.
And along those lines, I will focus on how neoclassical economics and its view of market failure are conducive to the advance of statism.
Y cómo ello destruye el crecimiento económico, poniendo un freno a las mejoras en el bienestar y en la lucha contra la pobreza.
And how this destroys economic growth, putting a brake on the improvements in well-being and the fight against poverty.
En cuanto a la génesis de este problema,
as for the root of this problem,
el problema es un problema metodológico entre modelo versus realidad.
The problem is methodological in nature. It's about a model versus reality.
Dado que la realidad siempre es muy compleja de analizar, se analiza con modelos.
Reality is always very complex to analyze, so it's analyzed by using models.
Pero en términos generales, cuando el modelo no mapea con la realidad, uno corrige el modelo, descarta el modelo.
But normally, if the model doesn't match reality, you throw away the model.
Y el problema con el mundo neoclásico es que frente a este problema en que el modelo no mapea con la realidad, se enojan con la realidad llamándolo fallo de mercado.
And the thing about the neoclassical model is that when the model doesn't match reality, they get mad at the reality, calling it a market failure.
El origen de este problema tiene que ver cuando se pone a estudiar las cualidades normativas del equilibrio competitivo.
So the root of this problem arises when you start studying the normative basis of competitive equilibrium.
Es decir, mientras que el análisis se centraba en la existencia, en la unicidad y en la estabilidad, eso no confería un problema grave desde el punto de vista político.
So when the analysis focused on existence, uniqueness, and stability, there was no actual political problem.
Y en rigor, el problema aparece cuando ingresa el análisis normativo de la mano del análisis de Pareto.
The problem started when the normative analysis started to be linked to Pareto's analysis.
Básicamente, la idea del óptimo de Pareto es que yo no puedo mejorar a alguien sin empeorar a otro.
The basic idea of Pareto's optimality is that you can't improve someone's position without damaging someone else's.
Concretamente, si estoy en una situación donde puedo mejorar a alguien y hago una mejora para alguien sin empeorar a otro, eso se llama mejora paretiana.
So if you can actually improve someone's position without damaging another one's position, that would be a Pareto optimality.
Y obviamente cuando esas oportunidades se agotan, significa que estamos en el óptimo de Pareto.
And when those opportunities run out, then that's Pareto optimality.
Y es ahí a donde aparecen las definiciones de fallos de mercado.
And that's when the definitions of market failures crop up.
Que tienen distintos nombres. Una es las no convexidades, es decir, la existencia de rendimientos crecientes, o para decirlo más popularmente, estructuras de mercados concentrados y monopolios.
One of the names given to this position is that of non-convexities. This has to do with concentrated structures and monopolies.
Otros casos son las externalidades, los bienes públicos, la información asimétrica y el dilema de los prisioneros.
Also externalities, public goods, information asymmetry, the prisoner's dilemma.
Y en realidad, todas estas definiciones tan elegantes son todos elementos que habilitan la intervención del Estado y con ello el avance de los estatistas y los socialistas.
And all these elegant names are actually ways to pave the way for state intervention and for statists and socialists.
Pero para que no estén tan en abstracto, voy a hacer un ejemplo aplicado.
But to make it less abstract, let me give a more practical example.
Si básicamente supongamos que estamos en el momento, digamos que nos alumbrábamos con velas y todavía no había llegado Edison.
Let's suppose we are at a time when candles were still used and Edison hadn't yet come along.
Obviamente, en el momento que aparece Edison con la lamparita, todos los fabricantes de vela van a la quiebra.
Of course, when Edison did come along with the light bulb,